welcome. We're waiting for Penelope, but I think she'll walk in by the time it's her turn. Owen, are you ready? Let me turn off my music. Sit right here, okay? All right, so we're going to start today. There are several slides that are going to walk us through our project. Each child has a slide that they're going to talk about. There are some in between that I will be excited to share some information with you about. All right. One of the things that I have loved about Mount Vernon is how comfortable students are talking in front of people. So that's kind of one of the reasons why we do this, is to kick it off. I did it last year at the end of the year, and this year I'm doing it at the beginning of the year, and I'm hoping that when you see again at the end of the year, you'll see how their speaking skills and being comfortable up here will improve. So that's why we kicked off show and tell, to practice that, and here we are doing this as well. So we have talked about, and I'm reminding you, friends, when you come up here to talk, that you need to look out at who you're talking to, not the board, right? Right? So make sure you're looking at who you're talking to, and make sure you're talking clearly and loudly. Okay? Got it? Don't talk quiet, that's right. This is the one time we're telling you to speak up. All right? All right, so let's get started. Move along. All right, Libby is our first speaker. Libby's going to come up and tell us how this all began.
I found some berries next to the fence, and I squished them on my hand.
All right. Awesome. Anything else? Awesome. Good job, Libby. All right, so this is how she came up to me. I loved it. So the next day we went outside, and Anna.
We found some pink berries on the fence, and we squished them up and we painted with them. And we tried to make some lettuce, but we couldn't. So we just made up to make some circles.
Cool. Awesome.
And then we did.
Do you remember what they were called?
Elderberries.
Elderberries. Done? Awesome. Good job. So I actually took this picture and then I showed them, or they watched me Google search that image, because I did not know what they were as well. And we did learn they were elderberries, which are edible. But we've had a discussion about how we probably shouldn't eat things that we find on the frontier. But that they are actually used for jam and jellies and wine. All right, so then we moved on to seeing what else we could do. We found some other berries. We kind of compared them. Johan, I think, is the next one who's going to tell you about that. Johan. Good? And they're still to this day on the frontier bringing meat berries. So you've probably found some in pockets and bags. All right, so then that kind of led us to, if we can't eat the ones on the frontier, I wonder what we can do with berries that we can eat. So thanks to you guys, we had various berries and we tried to paint with them. And we compared that obviously it was not as bright as those elderberries. All right, Nolan, then what do we do next, buddy? right, Nolan, turn around and tell us what you're doing.
I was trying to get this seed up, but I couldn't.
You were trying to get the seeds out, but you couldn't. What did you remember what we used to try to get those seeds off?
Tweezers.
All right. Anything else?
No.
Awesome. That was very fun. This kept their attention for a very long time. They could, I mean, I think those three probably sat there for over 5 minutes just trying really hard to get those seeds off those strawberries, which is pretty much impossible. But some of them did, and they were using very sharp, real tweezers to get those off. Great fine motor work. So, Brandon, more exploration.
I was opening a raspberry and I got
I thought this was really fun because Brandon was the first one who decided to kind of slice open and see the cross-section of a raspberry. So that was really fun, and he found out that the seeds were in a different place than the strawberries. And they really had fun using magnifying glasses, and thank you for all the mortar and pestles that their squishing became their favorite part. We found some literature connected to berries that we looked at. They loved this book, The Mouse, the Strawberry, the Big Hungry Bear, Blueberries for Sal, Jamberry. This was a picture that during Free Choice, the creativity table, Macy Jane drew, and I asked her what it was, and she said it's a talking fruit, and it was stuck in a cave with a bear. So she was reflecting on that story. Matthew.
Yeah.
We did lots of visual thinking. He's going to tell you about this one.
Oh.
All right, Matthew, tell us about that.
Like the raspberry has a longer stem and strawberry doesn't. And they both grow on a bush and they type of the same. And this one has outside and this one has a hole and that one doesn't.
I love this. When I did this on the whiteboard, I did not explain to them at all what it was or why I was doing it. I just drew a big circle with them overlapping and wrote strawberries at the top, raspberries at the top, and I told them to start telling me about them. And I chose, obviously, where to put the ones that were the same in the middle, and I did tell them why I was doing that. And then at the end, I said, does anyone have any idea why I wrote these words in the middle? And Matthew was the one who said, that's how they are the same. So that's why he did this slide, because I thought that was really neat. So that's a great visual thinking skill that we will work on.
Good diagram.
Yeah. All right, Harrison.
Writing some strawberries and blueberries and raspberries and blackberries and raspberries. And they were so yummy. And the most people liked the strawberries. Any questions? Raspberries and blackberries and blueberries and some strawberries.
Good job. So that was obviously one of the fun things of this project is we did lots of taste testing, and so we could graph our results of what people's favorite things were. All right, Vikram, another taste testing activity.
I was tasting the jam with the crackers, and this was some strawberries, and this was jelly, and we're talking about this has more sugar, this has more sugar, and this
jelly had more sugar than jam. I was wrong. We looked at the ingredients, and jam had more sugar than jelly, which was surprising. All right, Macy Jane, tell us what we're doing here. Awesome. So they did this in art with Miss Liz. They took berries that we had smushed up the day before, because that was our favorite thing, was smushing up those berries. And they extracted, as Macy Jane is doing that picture, the juice to make ink. Cool. All right, so we did this web, which is posted right here. Another visual thinking activity that let me to kind of know what they knew and where they were going in terms of what else they wanted to know. I put berries in the sensory bin, thinking that we would be investigating what berries would sink, what berries would float, and this was very fascinating to me because they observed that all the seeds came off the strawberries. So that was an easier way, perhaps, than use tweezers. All right, this was just serendipity that has happened. Scarlett cannot be here today. She happened to be the only one that I captured in video at the sensory bin that day. So we're pretending she's here. All right, let's see.
Which ones? Can you show me?
Wait, let's listen. Try to hear Scarlett.
Why do you think some of them float and some of them sink? Because they are heavier, and so this one's medium. Bring them out there, me.
I just love that because she was really thinking about why they were floating and why they were floating. All right, Penelope, who we haven't seen for a few days because she's been sick. So are you ready to tell us about it? We have been practicing, so Penelope has not been here for a couple days, but I know she can do it. She's going to tell us about what we're doing in these pictures. Penelope, what were we doing?
We planted a strawberry plant, and then we put it in a bucket, and we took it back into the classroom. That's all.
Excellent. So it would have been tons of fun if this had happened. I mean, it was still tons of fun, but it would have been it might have gone a different way if this had happened in the spring. But because it happened in the fall, Johanna Vikram, can you sit up, please? Obviously, we weren't going to see berries on our plants. So, but we did look at the parts of a strawberry plant. We did dig some up from outside. They're still surviving over here, so maybe we'll get to see some in the spring, but we'll definitely see some on the frontier in the spring. All right, Gareth.
I was rolling the dice, and I got 5 on the dice, and I have put 5 blueberries on the 10th frame.
All right, so this was fun. We use berries as manipulatives. They do get kind of tired of using the same old things, putting in tens frames, doing math activities. So this was fun. They thought it was crazy that they could use berries as their manipulative when we were doing this math activity. All right, this was a great fail-out opportunity for us. So I charged Miss Liz. I said, I wonder if we could dye fabric with berries. And they did it. They boiled the juice. They put the fabric in, the whole shamil shamagle. She took it home to wash it, and it washed out. So we had a conversation about why that was, and she explained to them that they were not color fast. So we had a conversation just last week about what other things perhaps we could try that we could find around the school, and they came up with that idea of trying flowers. So that's probably where she might go next with this. They're going to try to maybe collect flowers and see if that works. All right, then it was so exciting. Halloween came and I could still do pumpkins because we learned that pumpkins are berries. So this was just some of the activities we did with pumpkins that day. I was at Jaymore Farms, found a blueberry bush. We brought it back. We planted it. Libby brought in cranberries one day. They were not, it perhaps was not their favorite berry, but I have to say, they all tried it. So I was very proud of them for trying it. So we talked about the difference between dried cranberries and fresh cranberries. We did some patterns with berries, both with berries we printed out. And yesterday, we made berry patterns, and that's going to be our snack shortly. You'll have those with your children. And then we started talking about where could we go. And we ended up going to Riverwood, and this is a visual thinking activity we did before we went to Riverwood, and they were very intrigued by this stove. These are the tools we looked at before we went there. We got on the bus, tons of fun. They walked in, they had chef hats for us, aprons for us, and then they gave us a tour. All right, so we saw the freezer, we saw the dishwashing room, and Tuck's going to tell you about what else we saw.
This is the oven, and this is the stove, and that's where we cook things on, and we have a roll for this sample food,
Hey, Tuck, tell people what's in those pipes. All right, so he was the one that kind of found those as we're walking around the kitchen. He was like, "What are those?" And so we kind of got a lesson on how gas came in to heat up the stovetop and the oven. And that has led us to, as you all are aware, an infatuation with stovetops. This is us, and I'm sure everybody has tasted the jam, us making the jam. Did everyone make the jam? And then our Oliver, our last friend. Turn around and tell us real loud what our chef's name was.
Chef Oliver.
Hey Oliver, can you tell us why her hat's so tall? I didn't hear you say that.
Because you have to see her when you go in the kitchen.
Alright, so then we obviously made our turnovers. We were eating our turnovers. And that is how we ended up here, which is why I keep on asking y'all to send pictures of stuff. So that's kind of where we are. Alright, y'all did a good job. At the back of the room, we have the berry kebabs that you guys made yesterday. When you get your, each child made 3, so there should be enough for everybody to share. So in a minute we'll kind of pass those out, and your child can tell you the pattern that is on those berry skewers. And then also, one second, what did you say, sweetie? What if there's what? What if it's rotten? You can set that berry aside and choose not to eat it. All right? But like I said, there are those of you who just came in or came in not at the beginning. There are lots of things around the room. Like I said, take a look over here. There are some things we have done throughout the project, some observational drawings. There are some things over here on this wall. There are some things hanging over there. Lots of visual thinking things around the wall. So have your child maybe take you around and show you some more of those things. All right, so if you can find a space where you can maybe settle in for your snack, I will bring, or maybe I'll have, actually, why don't I have my friends come over here and get the 3 that they made.
Miss Debbie?
Or you can stop.